Today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, Jewelry Forever at jewelryforever.ca, and Beautified by Romina. Enjoy the show.
Broadcasting live from Glenmore Record Studios in Toronto, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown, your Sunday morning talk show with interesting guests, live musical performances, and the most fun you can fit in your coffee cup. Hosted by Scott Dion Brown and Regine Alaina, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown.
La 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 la. No 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 no. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 235 of 236 of the Sit Down. I said 235 and I just see 236 of the Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown. And I'm your host today, the one, the only, Scott Dion Brown. And I'm joined, sitting across the table from me today, by the greatest co-host in all the galaxy, the one, the only,
Regine Alaina. Happy Sunday, everyone. It's funny because you literally, right before we went on air, you're like, 236, yep. And then you're like, 235.
Yep. Because we have the sign over there that has the episode.
Yeah.
And I made a mental note in my head being like, it's not that one, it's 236. And then we start the show, and I immediately go over and just read the sign. And that's how it goes. People tuning in, you may notice we're not live. This is a YouTube premiere episode. Because Sunday, we are actually at this very moment very busy. Working at the
Canadian National Miss Pageant. It is a long, long weekend for me, at least. I know you're also busy all weekend. So why stress and try to be live when we can just pretend live?
and you're gonna be emceeing.
I am actually judging 5 of the girls. So it's a very busy weekend for me. Plus, past tense now, Galaxy Internationals is on Saturday, and I'm also working with 2 of the girls in that pageant. So it's a very busy time, but exciting. Pageant land is here. We have officially entered pageant land. Welcome, Scott.
We have these last few episodes. There have been a lot of very pageant themed episodes. Like, is pageant season a thing? Is there like a time when there are a lot of pageants, and are we just in it right now? Is that why?
We are in the thick of it for sure, but there's also, Canada Galaxy is in October. I believe Canada Perfect is usually in January, so it's sporadic. I think it's very smart for, let's say, national pageants to do them sporadically throughout the year, so that the girls who, let's say, compete at Canadian National Miss don't win, have an opportunity to do another pageant within the year, like Canada Galaxy or Perfect or whatever systems there might be. I
see. So there is like a heavier time, but then there are also ones that are scattered to kind of allow time. Because I guess if they were all at the exact same time, then it'd be hard for people to join multiple pageants because they would.
But then it's also summer. Right, so students aren't in school.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay.
It does make it easier for people to travel, not take time off work or school. So
makes sense. So the summer is particularly heavy for. Makes sense.
Yep.
Oh, before we get started, well, you guys will have noticed that we don't have a guest today because Regine is sitting, across the table.
I'm the guest. No, I'm kidding.
She's the guest, yeah. But we like to have episodes like this every now and again, kind of just talk about a couple things that happen, because what often happens when you have a guest every week is you intend to talk about something that might happen or something topical, but then you're kind of busy addressing the actual guests themselves, talking about what they're doing. And so what ends up happening is things that are happening kind of fall by the wayside. So every now and again, it's nice to just have an episode where we can just sort of talk about what we feel like talking about.
Exactly. And then what ends up happening is on the car ride after the show, we're like, or before the show, it's like, did you hear about this? And we'll talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, So like we always have like a list of things. Like I find after a few weeks of just doing regular guest shows and sometimes even months, I'll look at my phone and I'll have like a list of items that like I've written down because I heard about something. Oh, that'd be fun to talk about on the show, and we never get to address it.
Yeah. So here we are, a specific episode for these specific topics.
Exactly. And the first topic, this is actually kind of a new one. In fact, oh shoot, where did I put my phone? I actually need my phone for this.
Well, while Scott looks for his phone, I guess to our viewers who watch regularly or those who are usually on Scott's channel, if you like episodes like this where it's literally just us two talking and Scott frantically looking for his phone, let us know so that we kind of know where to gauge our podcast and our conversation to suit you guys.
That makes sense. Okay, let me see. Maybe it's easier if can I just bring it up on the computer screen?
Perhaps. What are you looking for?
So the first thing I want to talk about, the first thing that I want to address, is actually the topic that we talked about a few episodes ago when Darren was in town.
Got it.
Obviously I posted a YouTube short about height.
Yes.
Right? And it got a lot of reaction. I think, let me see, looking at it now, that short is sitting at 231,000 views, okay? And the comments are just all over the place, Regine. And I think it's be fun to talk about it, address some of the things that people are saying, and just to get people's ideas of what they've been saying. Okay. First of all, let's talk about the short. The short in itself we're talking about how my experience as somebody who is
quote unquote
above average height, I'm 6'2", right? Is all I said was that sometimes, when I'm walking around, I'm used to seeing, generally speaking, people looking. Let's word it properly. I'm used to walking around, and generally I'm used to being taller than most people in the room. I'm used to looking downwards, right? And so the odd time when I encounter someone that forces my head to look up, it feels weird.
Welcome
feels
to
off.
My world.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it, right? That's exactly it. So that was the comment, right?
Okay.
But it's kind of funny seeing the comments about it now because, they kind of fall into a few camps. Okay.
Okay.
So the first camp, which I will say the camp that generally I think shares my experience, right? There are a bunch that are saying things like, this guy writes, "My first instinct is I want to hug them because it's uncommon to get a hug from someone taller than me." True.
How tall do you think this person is?
I don't know. Most of the people who seem to agree with the sentiment of that it kind of feels weird when you see somebody taller, they tend to say they're either 6'2" or taller, right? Okay. So like some guys, here, let me find a good one. This guy, I'm 6'7", and seeing someone taller than me trips me the F out.
Yep.
Right? Here, I'm 184, I think he says centimeters because he's probably in Europe. I'm 184 centimeters, have a colleague in another department who's got to be 205 to 210.
Damn.
When we, every now and then, like once a week, pass each other, I think, God, you're tall. Don't walk over me. Oh, well. Yeah. So there's that camp, which is of people who are like, kind of talking about similar experiences. And there's a few that I even responded to. Like one guy says, here we go. So this guy, I'm 6'5". When I see someone taller than me, my first instant reaction is to think, where the F do they get their clothes from that fit them? Because I want to know. Then it turns into feeling sorry for them because I struggle to fit into places in general. But I don't know but I know that places must be super uncomfortable for them if it's only uncomfortable for me, right? Even just tabletops I have to stoop down to use. That's why I like being in my man cave. I made my workbench suitable for my height. But when my missus uses it, she looks like a toddler trying to use the cooker in the kitchen.
Okay.
Right. So I thought that was a very nice comment. So that's generally that camp, and let's see if I can find any other ones that are more or less like that.
I mean, it's true, and I think I talked about it on the show. Like my brothers are 6'3", 6'4", something like that. So they are taller than you.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting when we go out, like with my brothers, and people just stare up at them and be like, wow, you're really tall.
Yeah.
But I'm so used to it, and I think because you're 6'2", my husband is 6 foot, like I'm used to guys being over 6 foot now.
Yep.
That when I see the crowd of people looking at how tall certain people are, it's very funny.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. What it is I think, and actually I saw an interesting comment on TikTok that was kind of the exact reverse. This was somebody, I can't remember the size they said they were, but think it was a guy, and he said he was 5 foot something. Okay. And he mentioned that in his friend group, he is the shortest, and he's used to being the shortest. And he commented how when he encounters somebody shorter than him, it feels weird to him.
Fair.
Because again, it's really just a matter of like just whatever you're used to, the perspective you're used to.
Well, now that you say that, like I'm thinking about it. So I'm 5. How tall am I? 5'6.5", 5'7".
Okay.
If I'm in heels, that's a good 4 inches, right? So I'm a lot taller. But then I find being Filipino, I am taller than the average Filipino person.
Yep.
So when I am with my friends and I know I'm going to go out with them, I tend to wear the shorter heels so that I'm not already taller than I currently am.
Makes sense. Actually, I will say, like when we were at, again, it depends
where you are.
When we were at Taste of Manila the other day, I really felt
Tall.
Humongous. Like more so than usual, but that's because I think average Filipino height is lower than like average.
I am average height for a Filipino man.
Well, there you go.
Or like 5'8". Let's give them a little something. 5'8".
Yeah. So I definitely felt much taller then. But okay, so anyway, so the first camp of people, generally speaking, you got a lot of guys who are kind of this guy. So true. I'm 6'5" and once worked with a 6'7" guy, so 2 inches taller. You know, not a huge difference. Yet looking up to him was so strange. He looked like a giant, lol. Right.
Actually, so I'm 5'7". Let's just say I'm rounding up. I'm 5'7".
Okay.
I know someone 6'7". So I'm just like, that's what a foot difference
That's an
looks
entire
like.
foot difference. Yeah.
It's wild.
Okay, but now, so that's the main camp. Or
Yeah.
I shouldn't say the main camp. That's one camp.
Yeah.
Okay. But then it's interesting that there's an entire other camp of people
Okay.
who, I'm trying to think how to word this properly. But okay, we talked about it a couple episodes ago. Height is definitely a very touchy subject, right? And I think it's a lot of that has to do with the advent of the dating, online dating profile, and also how there's so many memes and videos online about like, oh, if a guy's not over 6 feet, or oh, wow, he's over 6 feet, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And so I think because of that, there's a lot of like talk about on here about how, one, there's the ones that just say the 6'2" is not tall, as if like.
But again, it depends, I guess, also on the race of the person making that comment. Kind of. I'm not saying it's a race thing, but I'm just saying, like, again, being Filipino, they're not typically 6'2".
Yes. But here's the thing about that, because you are kind of right? For example, like there's somebody here who, in fact, she's actually been getting a ton of comments because she started being like 6'2" is tall as a guy, and then she's talking to people in the comments about how like she's a woman and she's 6'2", and she says when she encounters people all the time, she doesn't even think of herself as that tall, and she doesn't think a guy, right? But the issue is with that, and I can understand what she's saying. The issue with that though is like there's only like 1 or 2 countries in the world that have an average height of 6 feet, right?
Yeah.
Even some of the tallest countries in the world are like the average height is 5'11", 5'10". So like there are 0 countries in the world where the average height is 6'2", like 0. So obviously if you're in a place with a higher average height, you're going to see a higher frequency of people that are going to be above that average. But it's interesting to see like what are they trying to do? What are they trying to say? In fact, hang on, let me find some good examples here. So this person, lol, tall person. Nope, 6'4" is tall. 6'1" or 2" is average. I see people my size everywhere. But
17 replies?
yeah, so that's what I mean. So like if we look at some of the replies, there you go. So I wrote here, I think it depends where you live. 6'2" is definitely not the average in Toronto, right? You know, this person, 6'2" is taller than 96% of men, but okay, right?
Only 14% of the population is 6 foot or more. What average are you talking about?
That's what I mean. So I don't know if there's a thing of where like people don't know what average means. In fact, there's one I just saw that I don't even know if we could find it, but the guys just said that's average height in Missouri, right? So like let's just Google that. I just want to Google that.
You did.
Yeah, I know. I Googled it beforehand. Because I wanted to see, but we're going to show it on the screen here. Average height in Missouri, 5'10" to 5'10.75.
That's so specific.
Yeah, it's interesting that they've got that.
Can you put Toronto?
Sure. I think I actually searched that before, but average height in Toronto, 5 feet 10. Yeah, 5'10".
What about women in Toronto?
5 feet average.
Just because I want to include myself in this conversation.
Average female height, Toronto.
Nothing.
Here, it's got to be. Here.
5'9".
Really?
Oh, no, that's male. 5'4".
Oh, yeah. 5'4". Okay.
Well, they're there. You can actually see comparing it men to women.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, it's Wikipedia. Never mind. I don't believe it.
Well, I mean, it's probably...
It's kidding.
It's not like totally reliable, but it's generally... So, thoughts, Regine?
I gave my thoughts. I think it really depends on where you're from, where you live. Clearly, Missouri, you'd be taller than the average person.
Yes.
Is it Missouri?
He said he's in Missouri, yeah.
You'd be taller than the average person. And it's like if I go to the Philippines, I am considered tall there. Yes. But here, I'm average.
Yeah, I guess here you would be about average height. Well, how tall are you?
5'7".
So then you're above average height.
Well, give or take depends on who you're around, right? Like with my friends, I'm around the same height as, actually no, when you're next to Elizabeth Marnock, who is Canadian Mrs. National Director,
yeah,
I've never felt so short.
Yeah.
Because her and Katie, I'm just like, hello.
Yeah. But here's the thing, actually, I would say this, because even there, like, I don't think you should just consider yourself tall based on who you're around. You should just
but I
look.
do.
I guess maybe that's what people in some of the comments are doing. But basically, I think, like, what would the definition of tall be? In fact, here's a funny one. Okay, there was a comment. I can't find it now. But there was a comment that said something along the lines of 6'2" isn't tall. It's just above average, right?
Okay.
But what is the definition of the word tall if not above average height? That's what tall means.
Facts.
So if you're like, what are you even saying if you say the person, maybe what they're saying is it's not super tall, you don't consider that person a giant or anything, but that's not the point that we're making. The point that we're making is that you're above the average height. That's what a tall person is. So I would say you're what?
I'm lying on air, 5'7".
Okay, 5'7". And then the average height of a female in Canada is 5'4". So you are 3 inches above average height.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I guess. But also, the reason why I say it depends on who I'm with is because truly it is dependent on who I'm with. Like, if I'm with my pageant friends, then I am average height. If I'm with my Filipino family, if I'm with my family, I am...
Well, yes. What you're saying there is, like, depending on the room that you're in.
Exactly.
But that doesn't...
But, like, when I'm with you, I feel short. When I'm with my brothers, I feel short. But that's because everyone towers over me.
Yeah.
But then when I'm with other people, I tower over them. Like my bridesmaids, we were all different heights.
Yes. I mean, okay, I hear what you're saying. That is true. I think where I would... But we wouldn't necessarily, like... You wouldn't say, oh, I'm not... You're not, like, it's not, I'm not tall anymore. Or, oh, now I'm shorter.
Not tall anymore. Well, okay, let's just... For example... Put it on your camera for a second.
Okay.
Oops. Look at our height difference.
Well, I mean, yes.
Okay. That is, what did I do? That is our height difference.
Yes.
So.
But.
I'm just saying.
But for a female in the country of Canada.
But I was standing next to you, therefore I felt so short.
True. So then maybe a lot of these comments, the strange ones, are just people equating, I guess they're equating their own experiences.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Actually, there was one comment. Where is it? I'm 6'5". And every time I go into a Walmart, I see at least 3 people that are taller than me.
Where is he from?
That's what I would like to know. But I don't believe that. I just don't believe it.
I mean, if...
You're telling me every time he goes to Walmart... is there Walmart outside of North America?
I don't think so.
I have no idea. Okay, so let's assume he's in the
Don't
U.S.
ask her these hard
You're telling me
questions.
he's walking into a Walmart, and every time he goes, he sees somebody 6'6" and up. Multiple people that are 6'6" and up.
Maybe there's like a basketball tournament happening in his area. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he lives next to it's like LeBron James's local
maybe.
Walmart. Yeah.
You never know.
But I don't know.
To that person, where do you live? Because I would like to know. For all of my tall friends that are single, I would like to send them to your Walmart.
Yes, exactly. Okay, this person. Tall refers to anyone over the average height. Same as short refers to anyone below the average height. Yes, somebody else underneath it. 6'1", 6'2" is factually not average. Yes. Exactly.
There's a whole thing going on Scott's Reels. So, moral of the story is if you are curious about what he's reading or want to include your input, go to the Reels after this episode and leave your comments there. Right?
I mean, join in. Join in the discussion.
Tell them Scott and Regine sent you.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I think I would like to mention about it is just, I think it really does dial in to what we were talking about a couple weeks ago. Because the interesting thing about it, the entire point of the video in the first place, right, wasn't even about whether or not I am tall, okay? I actually don't really even care if you consider me tall. The important part was just pointing out that if you see something a certain way all the time and that thing is different, it looks weird to you, right? That was all it was. Yeah.
How did we even get to this conversation on that episode with Darren?
I think because Darren was talking about his height, I think.
Because we're like the same height.
Yeah, I can't remember how tall he was now, but
He's 5'8".
Yeah.
I'm lying to myself again.
Yeah. So I think that's where that came from. But anyway, so I think what it just comes down to is that because height has become such a weirdly touchy subject, everybody feels this pressure to be at least 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
And I think what it also creates is this pressure that I think a lot of people kind of just maybe fudge the numbers a little bit.
Do people even know how tall they really are?
That's a good question. Probably not. In fact, because I've thought about this. I remember there was an end. I've read a few of the comments. Somebody was like, me and most of my friends are all 6'6", right? And I'm thinking to myself,
are you?
Yeah, maybe. Or did one of you claim that they're 6'1", and all the rest of you went, yeah, I'm about as tall as him. I guess we're all 6 feet tall.
Because I know we talked about it earlier briefly about the dating apps, and I know some people who have actually been catfished because men have said that they are 6 foot, for example.
Yeah.
But really they are 5'7" or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and
y'all need to just measure yourselves properly, because I only know my height because I have to do measurements for outfits and stuff. So I know how tall I am.
Yep.
The average person, I don't think they do.
Well, because for starters, it's hard to measure yourself because it's hard to have the thing set up and then be able to properly mark it accurately. You almost always need to have a second person standing 100%. By to do it for you. So
we should actually measure you and see if you're actually 6'2".
Actually, I mean, to be truthful, I actually measured myself earlier today because me and my girlfriend were talking about stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, so I always thought my girlfriend was 5'2".
Okay.
And then
what?
Yeah.
So she's taller than that.
Well, she is. I always thought she was 5'2", and then she's like, "Oh, one time someone told me I was 5'4". I'm like, "You're 5'4". So we went and grabbed the tape measure, and I measured her, and she's 5'3", which is I didn't know. For years I've been saying she's 5'2", but because we had the tape measure right there, I'm like, okay, let's just measure me.
Maybe
right?
she's been working out and stretching, so maybe she stretched a little bit.
Well, here's the even weirder part. You remember how on the last episode I mentioned how I'm just under 6'2"? Uh-huh. We measured myself today, and I'm just over 6'2". So have I grown? Can you grow? Does working out?
Did you fix your hair? Did you cut it down?
We didn't use the hair as the top. We used we pressed that. We put a Kleenex box.
I can see you guys doing that.
Yeah, and pressed it down to try to get it accurate. But can you stretch a little if you work out a little? Does that work?
I don't know. I know guys stop growing at 21. But it's been a while for you since you were 21.
But it would be weird that I'm growing. Maybe like my muscles are getting longer.
Maybe. Do you stretch more?
I do find I'm like doing a lot of like hanging from bars, like hanging like pull-ups and stuff. Does that like lengthen me?
I don't know. Google it.
Okay.
Ask your doctor. When in doubt, ask your doctor. I'm not your doctor.
I'm actually curious. Can working out
increase height?
Increase height. There you go. I'm not the only one who's Googled it. Okay, let's see. A common height myth is that certain... so the answer is no, right? Go. There's no evidence or research on the effects of these exercises on height growth after adulthood.
Maybe you just were always measuring yourself wrong, and therefore you just
That's possible. That's possible. So I just got it wrong.
I just look at the measurement that was also on my driver's license. It tells you in centimeters how tall you are.
Where do they get that from?
Maybe it's based on how they like adjust the camera levels.
I'm trying to remember now. Do we just tell them how tall we are?
I don't know. Did you see Kim Kardashian? I'm just like segueing now, but Kim Kardashian actually brought her glam team to go get her picture retaken for her license.
I mean, I guess why not?
But then did you see that there was a girl on TikTok who I guess also did a glam look for her passport, I think?
Yeah.
And then when she got to the airport, they were questioning her because she wasn't wearing makeup.
She didn't look like it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You want your photo to look good, but also it needs to look kind of like you. Especially
because these pictures last like what, max 10 years.
Yeah.
So I get like this is the best you're ever gonna. That sounds so rude. This is the youngest you're gonna ever look, right? Without plastic surgery and fillers. But like, would you go all out for your?
I don't think I would hire a team.
Beautified by Romina.
But I mean, again, it's different standards for men and women. Men generally don't need to wear makeup for stuff. Women do.
They don't have to.
They don't have to, but like
they just do. Because like I have to go take my passport picture soon, and I remember because I changed my last name, I had to change all my ID, and I was like, oh, maybe I should put a little bit of makeup on. But then I'm like, this is silly. Because when I travel, I don't wear makeup when I travel. I mean, half the time I get ID'd anyway, so like here.
Yeah. Are you wearing makeup in your current one? Mm-hmm. I mean, thing is, I guess it depends on it.
It's like, do I do my hair or do I leave it straight? Like, in my head, it's like, what am I? After that girl posted her TikTok, I'm like, maybe I should make myself look more like myself when I travel.
I mean, I think there's probably like a gray area somewhere in there where it's like you should like you say from a guy's perspective, I would brush my hair and
I hope they would brush their hair.
Yeah, maybe I would shave and like just sort of make myself presentable as if maybe like I was going into work presentable, like that type of look. But you also don't want to do so much that you
don't look like yourself.
Look like literally a different person.
Because like those glam teams, they can transform you to look like somebody else.
Especially like contouring and all that stuff, right? So it's probably not a good idea to go that far.
Some people, apparently not, because of that girl who was like, no, we need to see more ID. Like they did not believe her that it was her.
Yeah. Like what happens, I mean, I guess for guys, it's more like a facial hair thing.
Yeah, you shave your beard off and it's like, whoa, or you grow a beard.
Yeah.
Like my husband has a beard. No one remembers what he looks like with that one. So imagine.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think I've ever, have I seen him clean shaven? I'm not sure if I have.
Probably.
Clean shaven? I'm not sure.
There were pictures at our wedding with him without a beard on his face. The way I said he didn't have a beard on.
He took his beard off that day.
Pre-beard.
So there wasn't. No, but he had a beard at the wedding. Oh, so you're saying like in some of the photos were
not our wedding.
Yeah. So I was trying to like what?
Sorry.
Well, anyways, point is you can look pretty different. But if you go to the airport and then you have a big beard and you didn't have a beard in the picture, or vice versa, I guess they might give you a hard time if you really don't look like you. I don't know.
Well, it's like guys with long hair versus short hair. It's like your brother when he cut his hair. It's like, whoa, where did he go?
Yeah. I mean, the face generally is still the same. Although depending where the hair is falling, you can make your face shape
shaved his
change.
beard too when he cut his hair.
Yeah, that's true.
He was like a whole new person.
Yeah.
Our viewers haven't seen him clean shaved and short hair.
Yeah, I think that's true. I'm not sure the
last time he was on air.
He had a beard.
And long hair.
There you go. It can really change your appearance.
I don't know how I got there. Just like height. You know, you pretend you're 6 foot and then you meet someone in real person and you're like, oh, you're my height.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's just put a bow on this thing.
Sorry,
Again,
I totally took it.
No, it's fine. I mean, that's this show. But I think putting a bow on it, I think this all goes back to this whole thing of like, we shouldn't be so obsessed with height in general, you know? And I especially don't like this thing where, again, people will write in their profiles or their preferences, 6 feet and over only. Because what you're doing in that case is, one, you're cutting off an entire segment, most of the population. But then what you're also doing is you're encouraging people to lie.
Yeah, but like, what if you are 5'9" and you want someone taller than you? Then I get that.
In that case, I would almost say that's fine. But even then, that's not necessarily drawing the arbitrary line at 6 then. I think what I'm talking about is, for whatever reason, the internet has chosen 6 feet as like this perfect height. You know what I mean? And yeah, if you're, I understand that there are a lot of women who have the preference that they want a guy that's taller than them, right? And I don't, again, people like what they like, that's fine. But like, if you're 5'1", even if you want somebody who's taller than you in heels, that's like, what, you put on a 4-inch heel, that puts you to 5'5", right?
I wonder, well, this is for like straight couples, right? So imagine if it's, I'm curious for people who are in the LGBTQ plus community, do they be like, no, I need my person to be taller than me or shorter than me? Or is this just like a completely...
That's a good question. I don't know. But I think actually the same logic should still apply though. I think if you want somebody taller than you, that's one thing. I think it's weird though to kind of
put a minimum height on it,
especially if the minimum height is, again, I don't feel like, you know what it is, I feel like the preference of 6 is not even most people's preference. It's kind of just what the internet has decided is the preference, and people are just going along with it. It's almost like it's the latest trend, you know what I mean?
No, I think what's trending are quote unquote short kings.
I mean, that's its own thing. Yeah, I mean, you're right, that's definitely become a meme, I agree. But what I'm talking about specifically is like this obsession with that specific number. That feels like, I don't recall that being as big a deal, I don't know, like when we were, I don't even know, before like internet dating, say, became like everywhere.
So you say that, but I feel like because I grew up in a Filipino household, no shade to all the Filipinos out there, but a lot of people do put emphasis on height.
Oh no, I think emphasis on height's always been there.
Always.
I just don't know if it's always been, oh, you're under 6 feet, I don't even want to talk to you. I don't think that's ever been the case. And the reason I don't think it's been the case is because I don't think most people know what 6 feet even actually looks like. I actually believe that. Like, I think, again, most girls, if you're looking, average height in Canada is 5'4", right? A lot of girls 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", 5'4", 5'5", right? They're looking up at all the guys, right?
Not all.
Yeah, a lot. They're looking up at most, right?
The average guy.
Yes. But the point is, so if they're looking up at most of the time, when would they ever know exactly what 6 feet is? But then what suddenly happened is, you go into this online world, you're not actually seeing people in real life. You're just seeing pictures and you're picking text. And then from the text, you're going, 6, cutting that off.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's like, excuse me, you're 5'2". For starters, I would just say this from, my own experience in my relationship, right? Who I found out my girlfriend's 5'3", not 5'2". Point is, like...
Surprise!
Like, she has to crane her neck back all the time. And I have to crane my head down all the time. And
you crane your neck down?
I don't know if that's the right word. Push my head downwards.
Sorry.
Point is, it is like slightly inconvenient.
Yeah.
It can be, you get used to it. But the point is, if we were like slightly
closer, do you have back
in height,
problems?
I mean,
do you find that you slouch a lot?
You know what I find I was slouching? Because actually somebody in the comments on this thing even said that they get back pain when they are doing the dishes. And I don't know if I get back pain, but I do notice that when I'm doing dishes, I find myself hunching over a lot. And I wonder if that's just to take, like I feel my back getting a little bit tired because I'm kind of standing at this weird position. And so going lower like puts the emphasis on a different part of my back. Maybe.
Because like I know people say with like, for my brothers, for example, so one of them is, I don't know how tall he is anymore, but he's also very skinny. So similar to you, right? Like you're tall and lanky, right? Yeah. And so because he's so used to being around people who are shorter than him, he's always slouched down.
Yeah, okay.
Or even for pictures, instead of standing up straight, he's slouched. And I do that too when I'm with certain people. I will slouch down to make it a little bit more even, I guess, in the photo.
I don't think that's something I ever do. Although I do remember in high school, there was a guy he was taller than I was. Mm-hmm. And I remember he was always like hunched. Like he always walked around like this, like all the time. And I wonder if that was from like a desire to like, maybe I don't know if he was insecure about how tall he was. And so he didn't, he thought maybe trying to make himself down to that size. It's never something I ever did.
Anyways, we've been talking about this topic for almost our entire show.
It's a good topic. I mean, you know what? I had a feeling we would be. And like, I don't even know. What I realize now is I should have like prepped some of these comments so that I could go straight to the ones I was talking about.
But like I said, to all of you who are watching, if you are curious to what Scott's talking about and want to be a part of that conversation, link is in the description.
Link is in the description. Yeah, check out that post. It is just funny to see. It is just funny to see some of the comments, and then again, then you have other people. So you'll have somebody coming in saying like 6'2" is not even tall, and then somebody will come in and be like, 6'2" is factually not the average. Tall refers to anyone above average height, right? 5'8" is the average height. So it's just...
Join the conversation so we can move on with this conversation.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we should.
I'm like, let's go to an ad break. Scott.
Yeah, let's do the ads. That's true. We've been going for a while. Okay, everybody, today's episode of The Sit Down is brought to you by the following fantastic advertisers. Mm-hmm. And let's meet them. Regine, let's meet them as I find it, and boom. Everybody, the Toronto real estate market is growing and changing every day. Mm-hmm. In these challenging times, you need someone in your corner. Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, is committed to looking out for you. She'll go the extra mile to ensure you have all the information you need to make a decision you can feel confident about. Purchasing a home is one of the biggest financial investments you'll make in life. Don't leave it to chance. Call Jeanette McKenzie at Forest Hill Signature. She's my realtor, and she could be yours. Call today at 416-523-0408 or email at jmckenziehomes@gmail.com. Jewelry forever. Conveniently located at CF Markville Shopping Center on 5000 Highway 7 East Markham. They do custom-made jewelry, repairs, and change watch batteries, all done on site. Mm-hmm. And they also have laser engraving, an incredible service. And he showed us the machine, and it's just really, really cool. Talk to Jerry. He's amazing. And we have a great deal worked out with him, don't we, Regine?
Yes, we do. If you go in and let them know that Scott and Regine sent you, you'll get 15% off your entire purchase.
That's right. 15% off. 15%. Mention the show. Tell them Scott and Regine sent you. And follow them on Instagram and TikTok, too, for a lot of really, really cool behind-the-scenes jewelry secrets. Mm-hmm. Beautified by Romina.
Internationally trained hair and makeup artist. She is the official hair and makeup artist of The Sit Down. In fact, today she is doing my hair and makeup for the Canadian National Miss Pageant.
There you go.
But not only does she do our makeup for I can't speak anymore, for the show and for pageants, she also does weddings and engagement photos and corporate shots. Everything you need, she's got it.
Everywhere you need to be beautified. She'll make you beautified.
Check her out on Instagram and Facebook at Beautified by Romina.
And if you would like to advertise on the show, it's very easy, right, Regine?
It's simple. All you guys have to do is email us at radioshowad. That's radioshowad@gmail.com.
That's right, people. We do this show live almost every week, but we do the ads the same time we do it, and we do the ads live too. What does that mean? It means you can personalize those ads week to week. Do you have an event, a sale, something happening at a particular time, a particular place? You let us know. We let your potential client base know in real time. It's a great way to build a brand new relationship with a brand new audience. Get in touch. Radio Show Ad, Radio Show AD at gmail.com. And we're back. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
What's next on our list?
I went to the CNE yesterday.
Oh, yes. Okay. CNE just launched.
Sorry, you got so
Oh, yes. No. You went to the CNE.
I did.
How was it? I'm going on Friday. How was it?
So basically, you should be part of this conversation too. No, it was fun. So we went because we got tickets to Pentatonics, which is a a cappella group, for those who don't know. And so because we had tickets to the concert, we were able to get into the CNE for free, which is the same thing for you for Friday.
Uh-huh.
And first things first, you just hit the food center or the food building, because they always hype it up every year that there's all these wild, crazy
foods. Yeah.
foods. And my theory on it, first and foremost, is, do they ask pregnant people every year what they're craving and then make it a thing and then sell it at the CNE?
That's a good theory, actually.
Like, there's a lot of pickled stuff this year, like pickled pizza, pickled fries, pickled everything, pickle margarita.
And because it's true, when usually when somebody's pregnant, they usually crave like bizarre things or like flavors that they don't.
Like, do people just be like, "So, ma'am, what you craving? Perfect. Write it down. Sold."
That's a good theory. That's an interesting theory. And if it's not what they're doing, maybe they should do that.
Maybe. You heard it here first.
Yeah. So, what did you try any of the weird stuff?
I wanted to try a 40-pound taco. Holy cow.
I mean, that'd be a lot.
4-pound taco, but it was $40. And I said,
$40.
No, thanks, ma'am. Yeah. And then
$40. 4 pounds.
$10 a pound.
Did it look, I mean, I'm trying to imagine what 4 pounds
It's like
of taco.
a big taco.
I guess that'd be big, right?
It's a hefty taco. It's like a burrito.
Yeah, how much does a burrito weigh?
I don't know. I don't really eat burritos.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
anyways.
you saw it. It looked really big?
Yeah.
In fact, why don't we look at a picture of it? Let me look at a picture of it.
And then there was also, while you do that, there was also Malibu mac and cheese.
What's that?
So Malibu rum, coconut rum.
Okay.
And it was pink mac and cheese.
Pink mac and cheese.
And I couldn't find it. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to do that.
Rum and mac. Okay, well, that tastes. That's
It's like sweet and salty, right? Because it's mac and cheese.
Yeah,
oh,
makes
there
sense.
you found it.
Okay, here we go. We got a Toronto Life article here.
4-pound.
Talking about.
Oh, okay. It's more. It's like a sub. It's a sub, not.
Is that actually it?
Yeah, that's $40 worth of food right there.
Okay. Oh, all right. You know what? I can kind of see that, because that looks like that's like a meal for. I don't know why I was imagining it smaller than that, but yeah, I guess 4 pounds is a lot for food.
It's like a salad.
Yeah, it's like you've got an entire like multiple course meal in there.
For $40?
$40. I mean, again, if you split it between 4 people, I guess.
Well, we're going to split it between 2. So,
Yeah.
What other things are on there?
So we got a 4-pound taco. What else you got? Why is it only showing that?
Okay, well, anyways. So
Here. Pickle fries.
See, I told you, pickle fries.
Did you try any of
they
those or no?
ask a pregnant person what are they craving?
Pickle fries. So that's just a deep fried pickle with
I saw those. Oh, and then they had they brought ketchup ice cream last year.
Okay.
So why leave ketchup out and not bring mustard? So they brought mustard ketchup ice cream out this year.
neither. I mean, ketchup ice cream probably tastes.
I wanted to try that watermelon burger.
Watermelon burger.
But I went and asked from my friend, like, how much is the ice cream, and it was $13 for ice cream. Oh, that's the mac and cheese.
Oh, yeah, Malibu mac and cheese.
But did you hear what I just said?
Say that again.
$13 for ice cream.
How much ice cream are you getting here?
It's like a regular ice cream cone like you would get at like Dairy Queen.
I mean, I have been to like specialty places, but that's a lot of money.
But for mustard flavored ice cream?
And I guess they're not giving samples.
No. Because I was like, well, what if she doesn't want that much ice cream? And they're like, well, it's still $13, but we'll put less in her ice cream cone. It's like, what?
Yeah. I've got to think also they actually, wait, how many scoops do you get?
It's like the soft serve.
Is it like really tall?
I don't know. Just keep looking in that article. Maybe you'll see it.
What's that?
Ooh, churros
s'mores. That kind of looks good. 1/4 pound cheese stuffed Doritos. Whoa, look at that. Look at that.
We know what Scott's getting on Friday.
I don't know. I mean,
it's kind of like the Burger King the Burger King cheeseburger.
Yeah, is that mac and cheese inside there? It looks like it.
1/4 pound. Yeah, looks like it.
What's that? Pineapple, lychee, habanero ice cream. Oh, that looks nice. I'd probably have that.
That's not ice cream. That's bubble tea.
Yeah. Deep fried pizza.
I had what is quote unquote the world. Oh,
what's this? Is that it? What is that? Cookie stuffed chimney cones.
But I've seen people eat that.
Okay.
Oh, ew, I saw that. This is what made me think our pregnant people are the ones creating these menus.
Peanut butter pickle dog. So it's peanut butter mixed with pickles and ketchup. I don't know. Fruity Pebble cheese curds. Come on.
So anyways, I got...
Butter chicken.
Did not get butter chicken.
Savory cannoli. Ooh, okay.
Okay, we're done looking at it now.
Well, I was looking... What was that one we were looking for, though? When we were looking for one you were talking about?
Yeah, but
Oh, there. Is that it?
No. Ew, that's cheese. It's probably the same. It's probably the same size as that.
$13. I mean, I guess you're paying for the special novelty, but...
So, I went and got what is quote unquote the world's longest French fries.
Oh, okay. How long are we talking here? Oh, here, show my camera.
Ta-da!
So those are like, let me see again. That's like maybe at least a foot long, 16 inches long, maybe.
Something like that.
How was it?
It was delicious.
And you think that?
Yeah. So my theory is because you're not gonna find it's a foot long French fry.
There you go.
So yeah. You're not gonna find a potato that massive.
No.
And if you do, it's not natural.
Yes.
So my thought is maybe they got like, I don't know, mashed potatoes and then kind of just formed it, froze it, cut it, and deep fried it. But they still have like, you know, when you bite into a French fry, it's got like that crisp.
Yeah, like
and
the outside
it's like an actual French. It tastes like an actual French fry.
Yeah.
But there's no way that's a real potato. Like.
But this tasted like a real French fry?
Uh-huh.
Huh.
And then they have different seasons and sauces, and we got garlic parm. They were really good.
And you didn't notice any like weak points in the fry?
There was.
So like there are parts where
people, 2 of our French fries were dropped because someone picked them up and they went on the floor. You'd have to like find the right. Like, I would say grab it not at the end of the fry.
But what I mean is, like, was there evidence of, like, a seam?
Oh, no. Like they were all perfectly just...
Okay, so then I think you're right. I think they must mash the potatoes, form it into some kind of mold.
Yeah.
Deep fry it. Mm. Yeah, freeze it first, probably. Deep fry it. And I think that would probably make the same... I don't know. I've never deep fried mashed potatoes before.
But they were delicious.
The world's longest fries.
That's what it's called, I think. It says, hang on, let me read what I have here. Mm-hmm. It just says, they're called foot-long freak fries.
Foot-long freak fries.
How much were they? They were $15.
For how many fries?
I don't remember.
Like that?
I was sharing them, yeah.
Did you feel like it was worth that amount? Or like, do you feel
I think so.
Because I always like to go for like the really cheap spaghetti.
The $1.99 spaghetti?
Yeah. But I guess maybe I'll open my wallet if I get something interesting. Cheeseburger ice cream. What the heck's that going to taste like?
Oh, and we got Tiny Tom donuts.
Oh, yeah.
You have to.
Okay, I'm definitely going to do that.
You have to.
But what is... Cheeseburger ice cream, what will that taste like?
I don't know, but they had like a poutine with, what is that thing called? Not a pogo. Corn dog. They had a corn dog cut up and then put it with a poutine. And I think they called it like the all Canadian poutine or whatever. Are corn dogs aren't Canadian.
I didn't think they were.
Or maybe it's like the works of what they had because it was like
poutine is already Canadian in itself. So
it's an Americanized poutine is what I would call it.
Yeah, but what they call it?
I don't remember. I didn't order it. My friend did.
Oh, okay. I mean, it probably tastes good. It could probably taste good, but do you think there's actual meat? Is there actual meat in the cheeseburger ice cream?
No. It's just flavoring.
You think so?
I think you can eat it.
Let's see.
I just think it's disgusting.
Cheeseburger ice cream, after attracting hour-long lineups last year for their ketchup and mustard ice cream. I'm not standing in line for an hour. The people behind the cone of flavor cones on sensible follow-up cheeseburger ice cream served in a cheesy waffle cone with a sesame seed rim. The barbecue sauce soft serve meant to mimic the smoky notes of a grilled burger without actual meat. Is garnished with a pickle spear and fried. So this is like
Scroll up.
What? The picture. So this is like an actual like savory ice cream.
I don't.
Because if
can't.
If the cone is like cheese with sesame seeds, I think it's. Honestly, I'm kind of curious.
Are you gonna go try it?
We'll see how I'm feeling.
I just realized I'm just like chilling. I'm like, you go get it.
That's fine.
I won't. I think we're planning on going back to the CNE just because when we went, we obviously went for the concert, so we couldn't really shop or play games and do all that because you can't really bring all those stuff in. And then by the time the concert ended, the CNE was still open, but the buildings were closed.
Yeah, I think only the Midway and stuff are open.
Yeah, but they had what's it called? They have like a gaming garage there. So
Nice.
for people who are like gamers, they're just like chilling. I think that's what they do. I don't know. they're typing.
Like
an
this
essay.
is inside the building.
Care Center.
That's cool.
You should check it out.
I will.
Find people for your stream.
Yeah, hey, buddy. Play Brawlhalla?
Creepy.
Hey, you play Brawlhalla? Want to come on these live streams? Yeah, that's cool.
That's not creepy at all. But yeah, I was just saying, I think a pregnant person or pregnant women are the people who come up with these bizarre food.
Yeah, it makes sense, especially like, again, like pickle, peanut butter, like things that like don't really seem to fit right with each other.
Maybe that's how they get pregnant people to go to the CNE.
I think that theory is pretty sound.
Right?
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like some of those ideas at least were, yeah, my wife was pregnant and she was really, really craving so we thought, wow.
And there you go. You got a corn dog with peanut butter and pickles all wrapped into one.
Yeah. I am curious. I'm actually intrigued because, here's what it's reminding me of. Like, are you a fan of oatmeal? Do you like oatmeal?
I'm allergic to oatmeal.
Oh, so probably not a fan.
I used to eat it, but yeah.
Okay, well, when you would have it, you typically have like, it's more of a sweet type flavor, right? Mm-hmm. So like, I remember like when I was a kid, I would have like maple and brown sugar or apple cinnamon, those flavors. But I was in Boston. Me and my girlfriend were in Boston once, and we found a place that it was just exclusively all they sell is oatmeal. But on their menu, they had all those sort of basic, the maple syrup ones and all those.
Basic, yeah.
Yeah, but they also had an entire menu worth of savory oatmeals. So like you'd get like there'd be like a fried egg on it with like, what other things do they put? Pesto and like basically very, very sweet. And the idea was really gross to me. I'm like, ew, like no, oatmeal's supposed to be sweet, right? Mm. But when you realize that like oatmeal by itself, there's plain oatmeal. Plain. Yeah, it's very, very neutral tasting. So when we had it there, like it kind of blew my mind a little bit.
What did you get? Were you vegetarian yet?
No, not at that time.
So what'd you get?
I actually, if I remember right, I'm pretty sure I got a sweet one because I just like
You're
sweet
scared.
stuff. But my girlfriend got a savory one, and I think she probably got one with like the fried egg or something. But then after that trip, like we pretty regularly would make like oatmeal with a fried egg over it, because it's nice. Like if you fry the egg so that it's over easy, so like the yolk is still wet, you put that on there, throw in some, like, you can throw pesto, or you can throw like hummus, or even like cheese or something like that, salt and pepper, you just sort of cook it up that way. It can make a very a nice filling breakfast.
So instead of using rice,
actually,
oats.
Yes, it actually does sort of fill that role. Yeah, exactly.
Instead of shrimp and grits, it's shrimp and oats.
yeah, exactly. But so that's why now when I'm seeing that they've created this, what appears to be a savory ice cream, like the idea seems gross, but I'm curious if it'll actually kind of be like,
it's vegetarian friendly, Scott. So
yeah, because wait, the ice cream is, what is it?
it's just regular soft serve ice cream.
Waffle with sesame and it's okay, barbecue sauce soft serve.
Ugh.
So that means that the burger's just going to taste like barbecue sauce.
I feel like that's something my husband would eat.
Oh, but it's also it's going to be cold.
Yeah, but
I don't know if I'm going to
let us know in the comments. Would you try any of those wackadoodle dishes?
Or have you tried it? You tried it? Because I'm kind of curious, like, did you like it? I don't know. Because on the flip side, what you don't want, right, is like, because obviously they're trying to get people to I want to try these weird foods. But like, ideally, what you want to do is create something that feels like it's so out of left field.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, it comes together very well, right? Like anybody can create something gross. Like if I were to just grab the two weirdest things and put them together, right?
And then they turned out really great.
Yeah, but ideally that's what you want. Like it's like, oh, that looks like it's going to be gross, and you eat it and you're like, yep, I was right, it's gross, right? But like you would hope with these sorts of things, like they at least put some thought into, yeah, it actually kind of works. It's surprising, but it works.
But like, who is their taste tester? Who is brave enough to be like, I will eat ketchup flavored ice cream?
I guess pregnant people.
But then their taste buds are different than the average person.
True.
So it's like, how... And then it's also the same thing, like, who decided they're going to create a 4-pound taco?
Yeah.
What goes into, like, how do you know that you've reached 4 pounds? Like, are they physically back there weighing each taco?
And if it's less, do you go like...
Like, what happens?
Yeah.
Can I get a 2-pound taco?
In fact, how would the tortilla even hold that much weight? It must not be a regular kind. It must be a special one. Where is it? There. Oh, that looks thick.
It's a crispy taco shell.
Oh, it's crispy?
Look at it.
Oh yeah, I guess it is. It almost looks like pizza. The adage applies to the oversized taco stuffed with whopping 4 pounds of all the fixings: cheese, lettuce, tomato, sour cream, pico de gallo, avocado, tomato salsa, pineapple chorizo. Classic taco filling.
Fries.
Fries. Okay.
That's what makes it 4 pounds, is the French fries, because everything else is light.
That's true.
It's the fry. Wait, is there no meat in it?
I didn't hear any meat in that list, eh? Stuffed with whopping 4 pounds of all the fixings: cheese. I mean,
chorizo.
And what is chorizo meat?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
it's
actually
like a
know.
sausage.
Okay, there you go.
That makes, like, I'm saying the 4 pound. It's probably like 2 pounds of meat, 2 pounds of French
Potatoes.
fries.
Yeah, that makes sense, because you're right. I mean, there could be a bit of avocado. Avocado's expensive, though. I find when places are making things, they tend to cheap out on the avocado.
It's a sliver of an avocado, and they just say, here we go.
Maybe there's just like a ton of lettuce on top, but like lettuce hardly weighs anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do we know that it's legitimately 4 pounds?
Do they weigh it?
That's what I want to know.
Maybe they weigh it. I don't know. I won't be. I don't think I'll be getting one. I mean, unless we can decide we're going to split the thing. But no, for starters, it's got meat in it, so I'm not even going to get it.
I'm sure you can get it meatless. But then do they put more French fries in it to make it?
Can you add an extra 2 pounds of fries, please?
Can we replace the meat with not tacos, avocados?
Yeah.
It's a hard time to be vegetarian. You can't try a 4 pound taco.
I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be okay.
Fine.
Well, Regine,
We had all these things to talk about and only got through 2 topics.
Yep. But you know what? The first topic I think was, I mean, I find it very funny, and I think it was a good one to talk about because it's very
You've been itching to talk about it for a while.
Well, it's been funny because I'm seeing these comments roll in that are just like, again, most of them are funny or making jokes and all that stuff. It's like, it's fun, but like some of them are very like, I'm like, why is it so important? The ones that are most interesting are they're like when they want to make sure that it's like that I know 6'2" is not tall.
You're not tall, Scott.
6'2" is not tall, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, and the funny thing is like, I never said that I'm like the tallest person. Like even in the original video, right? I'm like, yeah, you know, if I'm standing in line, I'm, you know, it's rare that I'll see, I'm used to looking down on everybody, but I'll see the heads that are my size around, right?
Yeah.
But they're acting like, anyways, we already talked about it for a long time.
Well, it's also interesting too, but our video on Instagram, or on TikTok, of the worms, the jumping worms, has a lot of views and a lot of interaction.
Oh, really? Maybe we should talk about that in the next one or in a future one.
There's 21,000 views on that video.
Nice.
If you guys want to know what we're talking about, follow us on TikTok.
Yep.
But yeah, before we wrap up, again, to our viewers who are typically watching for the interviews, if you enjoy just random conversations like this, let us know.
And if you have any topics that you'd like us to talk about, I'd like to know that.
Maybe the next one we do of these, instead of like ask us anything, be like, give us topics to talk about.
I like that too. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Actually, and you know what I will say as well, just to again for the
for the tall people.
For the tall people. But and when I say tall people, I'm not even going to include myself in this, because I will say, you know, let's say I'm on the cusp, because some of the comments that really stood out to me were the people who would say things like, you know, like the guys who will say, "Oh, I'm 6'5", and he'll talk about how like when I get on a plane, it's like so hard to like, you know, and like there was one guy who said he's sorry for people who are even taller, because it's true. It's like when you're getting into a place, it's like it's like not made for you, you know? And like, cause like when I get on a plane, I find I prefer aisle seats because then I can stick my feet out and stretch them in the aisle. Right. And I'm only 6'2", right?
Yeah.
So I've got to think 6'5", 6'6".
So the best spot for you to sit would probably be the emergency exit aisles, because there's a lot of space. I love sitting there because it's very spacious.
Yes. Yeah, I shoot for those. So I guess we should just close with have some sympathy for those tall guys.
But then what about the shorter legged people whose feet don't touch the ground when they sit on the airplane? Give sympathy.
Yeah, have sympathy for
everybody.
How about this? Have some sympathy for all those people who are outside of the average. Have a little sympathy, Regine. Is that the lesson from this episode?
I think so.
Maybe we just need some more sympathy.
No, you know what the lesson is?
Yeah.
Get yourselves properly measured.
Yeah. Yeah, actually you should. Actually, there was one comment that I really wanted to read that was like, I feel like summed up so much of the problems that we were having, but I don't...
That is the moral of this entire episode. Go get yourself properly measured and stop lying about your height.
Yeah, it seems that everybody, like a lot of people do, which is very funny, but also understandable. You know what? I kind of understand it a little bit.
Yeah, because you thought you were a lot shorter than you actually are.
Apparently. I mean, hang on. We should... It is possible, like, maybe I either mismeasured before or I mismeasured today, right? So who knows? Maybe I'm not actually, but we'll see.
Maybe when you originally measured yourself, you are slouching.
Yeah, maybe. Although I'm pretty sure, I mean, yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Hang on.
You are the tallest you will ever be, because don't people shrink as they get older?
I have heard that. Yeah, because I think you're in your the thingies in your spine, the whatever it is.
Discs?
The discs. I think over time they get like compressed. Yeah, I think that's what happens. They kind of get and so because of that, as it compresses, your whole spine goes down, and so you lose some height.
So you are the tallest. If you have stopped growing, to all of our viewers, if you have stopped growing, this is the tallest you will ever be for the rest of your life.
Yes. Well, that's why. Do you know when that happens? When does that actually start to happen?
I think everybody's different. Take your calcium.
Take your calcium. That's right.
There's a lot of morals to this conversation.
Yep. Oh, I wish I could find this comment. Oh well, it's gone, Regine.
Just go on the link in the description, folks, and you will find it there.
Yep.
You guys should see what's going on.
Yeah, like this comment. Where does this dude live? I'm 6'1", and there are men everywhere my height or taller, in any store, restaurant, etc. 6'2" isn't tall. That's regular man size.
Click on his profile and see where he's from.
I mean, I don't want to like call people out. Okay, I would just say this. At no point in the video, I never claimed to be like the tallest person, right? There are people taller than me, but here's a good example of my experience. If I'm in line, so like we went to the football game, right?
Yes.
And we had to stand in a long line to wait to get in because there was a giveaway, so people showed up in advance. Okay.
Is this the episode the game that you were on, the Jumbotron, and you didn't tell us?
No, actually, that one I wasn't on the Jumbotron because I got picked to do a contest.
Yeah, that thing.
But different game. Although that was a lot of fun. But so let's say I'm standing in line, right? Let's say, and somebody can say to me, "Oh, Scott, how close are we to the building?" And I, at my height, I can see all the way to the front. Now, I'm not the tallest person in line, and as I'm looking,
someone's blocking the view.
Yeah, but I can see people that are my height or even taller through the line. But it's almost never the case where I'm standing in line of people and like I'm blocked by heads, right?
Yeah.
That never happens. If I go to a concert and it's standing room only, I can see the stage just fine.
Okay, for things like that, like I know, for example, like my family, when we used to all go to church together, I'd feel so bad for the people that sat behind us.
Yeah, because you're blocking them. Yeah.
Like we went to the concert yesterday and we were at the lawns and everyone decided to sit, but we're like, nope. So we stood there, and if you looked behind us, no one was behind us.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So like I am generally speaking the guy that people don't want to stand behind.
Got it.
Right. But again, I'm not the tallest. You know, I never said I was a giant person. I'm just above average, and my experience is that most of the time I'm looking down. So when I encounter somebody that makes me look up,
it's weird.
It's just a little weird. It's not the weirdest thing. It's not like I don't talk about it for weeks afterwards.
But you're talking about it.
I'm talking about it because of the response. Because the response is so weird. And then for people to say things like, that's like normal height. What do you mean?
Aww. Okay, watch that video of you going, woo, and see how much taller.
Can you actually see how tall I am in that one?
I don't know. Let's see. Compared to everyone.
You only see it for a split second, but let's see.
Let's just see.
This one?
Okay, there's a sea of people. You are tall!
Okay. Pause right there. I mean, it's hard to kind of tell. People are kind of higher than me, but I definitely look taller. I will say, though, in this crowd, this is a Taste of Manila, Regine.
Look, so you are actually a lot taller.
Yes. Well, in that crowd specifically, I was definitely taller. Yes. There
you go. Case closed. You are tall.
I mean,
you're welcome. I took that footage.
You did take that footage.
Much.
It's
Credit
great.
to myself.
Yeah, it's great footage.
I directed it too. I said, Scott, copy that person.
Yeah.
Can you copy that man? And you're like, what man? I'm like, that guy right there.
All right, do it. And then I saw it. I'm like, that's a good video. Send me that.
Photo creds. But anyways, yes. We
should wrap up.
Yes, we do.
Because I could keep talking about it. It's just funny because the funniest thing is none of it actually matters to me, but it's just more funny to see kind of
it matters to everyone else.
There's just a bizarre delusion in the comment section. Yeah. That's like, and the other weird part is like somebody will claim that they're 6'2", or they'll say I'm not tall because they're 6'5", and it's like, okay, I'm not tall compared to you. That's true, but we're both still like, you can't, just because there are things that are taller than the average doesn't mean that the average doesn't exist. Anyways, Regine, where can people find you?
You guys can find me this evening at the Canadian National Miss Pageant. I believe tickets are still on sale, so if you are in the local GTA area or specifically Mississauga and would like to support Canadian National Miss, I believe they're still selling tickets. I could be wrong. Message me on Instagram or TikTok at It's Regine Alaina to find out if they're still available.
Nice.
But you can also follow or subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I go live every other week with the pageant sit down. Like we mentioned off the top of the show, we are currently in full force in pageant season, in pageant land, whatever you want to call it. And it's wild right now. It's busy. So check us out. Link is in the description. Oh, and congratulations to all of the new winners of the Galaxy International pageants. Don't know who you are yet because it's only midweek, but congrats to all of you. Scott,
yes.
Where can people find you?
You find me right here where you're watching this very video. YouTube.com/Scott Dion Brown. That's the best place to follow because you get the sit down, you get the vlogs, you get the music, you get all of the stuff. YouTube.com/Scott Dion Brown. You can also find me on Instagram and on Twitter, or rather X. But all of those are satellites for the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scott Dion Brown. Also, please follow the show. The Sit Down with SDB on TikTok, the Sit Down with SDB on Instagram, Sit Down Scott on X, and the Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown on Facebook. Also, you can watch on Spotify and listen on other podcasting platforms.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for being here. Regine, another bizarre episode in the books.
Another one full of delusion. I'm just kidding. No, these episodes are my favorite when we get, I love our guests, but when we just get to talk freely about whatever comes out of our mouths, it's also fun.
There's just something very, I don't know, therapeutic about it.
I think so. And that's why I said if our viewers enjoy something like this, maybe we do this more often. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
do you say often?
I do.
I've heard a lot of people say often. I've always said often.
Well, you say schedule. I say schedule.
That's true. But do other people say often? Have you heard people say often before?
I say often.
Have you ever heard people say often before?
Maybe, and I don't notice it.
That happens often. That feels, actually, as I'm saying now, it sounds wrong.
It's oft.
Often. I don't often
Anyways,
think
if you
way.
often watch our show and you would like to see us do more of these types of episodes, let us know in the comments. And if you want to be a part of Scott's chaotic height debate on his Instagram, check it out. Link is in the description.
The comments are still, but guarantee I'm going to look at it after this and there's going to be more.
There you go.
It's funny. It's very funny. Get in on that debate. It's pretty funny.
Yes.
And
on that note,
bye, everybody.
We'll see you next week. Bye.